Hey everybody, Kimosabi here, giving you a little update from, I don't know, events that I've seen this week. I've found that people that are bullish on this market have become increasingly toxic. Um, just, I don't know, overly bullish maybe. Um, kind of ridiculing bears. People that want to short this market are kind of getting ridiculed here and there. So it's getting a little toxic as Bitcoin price moved down. You kind of saw the bears getting toxic, and then price moves back up. Now the bulls are getting toxic. Do I think that's topped out? Not necessarily. I do want to go over a concept that I've learned from my good friend, the Jim of All Trades channel. I'm over there every Sunday night in his live stream as a moderator. I'd encourage you guys to come and check out his live Bitcoin analysis via Elliott Wave. He is an Elliott Wave trader. He's actually really good at trading in ranges, in my opinion, from what I've seen him do. But yeah, one of the concepts that he came up with, that I've noticed, and I've seen other people use it since I've seen him use it, is a trend line on the RSI. So I'm going to take this trend line from the lowest point on the RSI and move it up to current areas. And you can see how on the RSI, the relative strength index, it has broken down. And what comes next is a back test. And you'll end up having divergence here on a weekly chart. If price does move up, you'll end up having that divergence. And you can do this on just about all time frames. Jim ends up doing it on a 15-minute, 1 hour, even a 4-hour chart, daily chart. And he does live streams every day in the Discord and teaches these things. But if you were to take the same trend line from the last cycle on the RSI, from the 2018 low, oh, that was the wrong line. Take this trend line. 2018 low, you got the 2019 low or 2020 low, that COVID low, but omit that as a deviation, and you see how the relative strength index kind of remained the same. It kept getting stronger with the deviation and then found support again, but then it broke down here. Here was your back test. That was your previous all-time high. Then price moved down, and the RSI, it moved down as well. So a very interesting concept, and if we take that along with Elliott Wave trading, we can have some valuable information that we can kind of trade off of and have a good idea of what price will do when it reaches certain levels. Well, one more thing that I did notice, back in 2021, that price moved down. RSI made it down to the 40 range, similar to where we made it here in 2024. And then you back tested the breakout of the bullish range. When you get really bullish, you get overbought, and the back test came right before breaking into that, and then you moved down. You had your divergence, and price moved down. This, as per Elliott Wave, was a valid wave 4 coming back down to wave 4 of lesser degree. That's a valid wave 5 because it broke above the wave 3. So this all looks really good for Elliott Wave theory. And we'll zoom in on our current price action and see when price would potentially backtest this trend line and the bearish zone. I'd put it right around here. November 25th, maybe all the way till December area. Somewhere around there. That's what it looks like to me. Zoom in price just a little bit better. Oh, you got multiple touches there. Touch there, breakdown, back test there. So that's a good level. So maybe right over here. January-ish. So where would price run to in an Elliott Wave formation if you have a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. How do we project the target? We take a trend-based fib extension. Now this is in log scale, but we'll take it from the very low, measure wave 1 and 3 together, and project from the bottom of wave 4, currently bottom of wave 4, and we would project to the 1618 at a price of 129,000-ish. Maybe a little bit lower. Well, that looks good. That all looks good. 130,000. So price anywhere around there at the end of the year, back testing this relative strength index trend line, getting bearish divergence and not being able to break above into this overbought region would look like a current top for this move. It would look like a completed move, and I would be looking for a retracement from there. But how does price get up there, and what does it all mean? If we're looking for roughly 130,000, I'm personally partial to 128,000, because that would be 2 times the 64,000 area. So you just multiply that by 2, that gives you a 2x on price. It does have an area of confluence up there. So this price since 2022 has been moving up with what looks like 3 waves. So why not have 3 waves? That's what I would be looking for in our current area. How does it get up there from here? Maybe a breakout, back test, breakout higher, and then some kind of choppy wave, and then make it up to target. And that would look like some kind of ABC, making this look like an entire ending diagonal or leading diagonal structure, depending on how bullish or bearish you are on this asset. However, if we close the end of the year around this price, I would look at this as the trend, as a higher high. Then you would project where your higher low is going to be, and if you do get a retrace, this is where I would look for it, back testing 30K. That's my idea. How quickly does that come? Well, we could have a deflationary bust of some sort that just takes price right back down, and then it grinds it out into some kind of structure to break up, and then maybe retrace into your next cycle. So having a target up in this area, do you just blindly short this area? Not necessarily. I think you can wait for some kind of structure break. You have a trend line here that's likely to get tested eventually, but you may have some kind of structure that gives you a lower low where you can sell the lower high and ride the breakdown. That's what I would personally be waiting for. I wouldn't just blindly short an uptrend. We all know how parabolic Bitcoin can go, because this could be 3 waves here, 3 waves here that's larger. This one could end up being 3 waves like that, and you just get locked out. So you certainly want to pay attention to that. This could be an ending diagonal structure that's going to go way higher. But you have your targets for a reason, and the reason being you watch for some kind of reaction around these areas, especially if this ends up matching just like that. I would see that as a completed move. This leg matching this leg very nicely, some kind of ABC in the middle. And this matches this, getting right up to target, somewhere around 120 to 128, maybe 130. Then maybe watch for this leg to repeat, or something entirely different. I think Ethereum's chart kind of gives you confluence with that as well. Here I have the Ethereum 1-week chart, and just matching the patterns, I'm seeing this is an ABC up here, matching this choppy stuff coming down, matches that pretty nicely. I bet you that matches to the 1-to-1. So now all I'm looking for is this one leg upward. That would potentially move pretty quick, but maybe it moves a little slower. But after that area is hit, the 1-to-1 extension there, you can count that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe it takes out your all-time high on Ethereum ever so slightly, and then you may repeat this leg coming down. So this may complete up this way, and then you have this repeating, something like that. You might be able to pick up Ethereum pretty cheap in the next cycle if it does do that. That could be 2026 that you'd be picking it up somewhere around there, breaking all this liquidity. Sure, you could draw a channel, just channeling up like that. You could see this is a B wave, some kind of ABC, 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 if you want to do it Elliott wave style. And that would just be a pretty large B wave for this cycle. So then you would have an A, B, and then C leg comes over here and grabs all this liquidity, takes it all out. After you take out all this liquidity, where's your next target? It's that liquidity. So I could easily see that if Bitcoin does end up peaking out in a fifth wave, somewhere around 120,000, Ethereum comes up, takes its all-time highs, has a massive B wave, giving you an ABC. That would actually fit really nicely. The pattern that I was really watching closely was how this particular thing moved down very similar to this. So we're either going to repeat the previous leg, or it's going to continue with this leg up, something like that, and then you might have a choppy sideways and then continuation. Both wave patterns are on the table for me, and I just pay attention to the weekly candle closes. If you get a weekly candle close higher high, then you start to look up, and I do believe we have that right there. Weekly candle did close a higher high, so look to buy the higher low and take it to the upside. But this price action is not as strong as you would expect in a bull market. This is selling going on. Whoever is holding Ethereum is not as interested. Maybe they're more interested in Solana, which maybe we'll get to the Solana chart as well. But yeah, somebody's selling, somebody's matching that pattern, some kind of algorithmic thing. So you could just have a liquidity grab and then reversal. So watch for that, guys. Target on that's probably 4,800 to 5,600, and that might top you out for the season. Geez, Solana looks like the same thing. Match that leg with that leg. That one popped up to there. That completed that move. Now you're doing this move right here. What comes? Well, likely some kind of pop-up like that. Maybe taking out the all-time high right there. And if this is going to be a viable solution in the future, perhaps look at like 34 bucks. Wow, that would be a 90% retrace from 340 bucks down to 34 bucks. That's where I would look to fill in this void right there. And then you may have a 1, 2, and then you really get going next cycle. That could be on the back of a collapsing currency though, so don't be too proud of that one. So watch out for accumulation and distribution going on. This area looks like it's mimicking this as a reaccumulation here into a distribution. Now you're going to have a shot up for the upthrust after distribution. Close back inside the box. That's an obvious sell setup for me. Stop loss goes at the high. Targeting this liquidity down here at 70 bucks. You might get a bounce there and then push down again to backtest this area and fill in that inefficiency. And I was asked to do Cardano here, and I hadn't seen this chart in a while, but look at the patterns, how they're matching. You have a long move down, pop back up, pop down, up, and then back down, pop back up, down, pop up. Maybe you're going to mimic this. And then from there you have this super spike. Keeping in mind that this was that COVID crash, so that could be a deviation. So maybe you hold there and you kind of start moving up like this. But I would be open to watch for tops here. Originally I was thinking that this is 3, 3, and you're going to get some kind of 5 up to like $1.50 to kind of take out some of these liquidities and maybe backtest this breakdown area. somewhere $1.25, $1.50. That was kind of my original thought. This previous peak might be an area of interest as well. But now that I'm opening this up on, I think it's Binance, I'm just seeing the similarities between these legs. So might get a pop-up, flush down, and then reverse, similar to what this did. And you'll just be mimicking this leg thereafter. Zooming in locally on Cardano here, you do have a series of higher highs and higher lows happening. Let's get another higher high here, and that would look pretty bullish. Maybe you're getting a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to there, slight retrace, and then this thing can rip up. I would definitely be watching the 1-to-1 fib extension of this leg up. You may only get an ABC up from there up to there to get to $1, $1.30, something like that. That's where I would look for a potential topping pattern, maybe repeating something like this before marking down again into the 15-cent range, which could be a 1, 2, and then next cycle you go really, really high with the Cardano, and maybe some of the dinosaur shitcoins end up proving their worth. I do know that Cardano seems to have a team that they're pretty dedicated, seemingly. Charles Hoskinson seems to be pretty dedicated. I'm curious if I'm going to get round tripped here, because I bought that stuff down here and I've just been staking it. So we'll see. I haven't bought any more, so that'll be Cardano. The good old XRP. Tried, tested, and true. This could be some kind of Elliott wave triangle, wave 4. Notice how the initial leg, if you do have an A, B, C, D, E, the initial A leg did come down to the wave 4 of lesser degree, so that qualifies pretty well. I would have to call that a completed E wave, and then you have some kind of impulse coming off of here. So perhaps you get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think the targets for this end up being like $20 or something like that, conservatively speaking. And then, of course, there's people that want it way higher, but you just take a measurement from this wave and project from your E wave, 618, $30. Maybe XRP makes it up to $30. That would be a valid target. I wonder if you would have some divergences happening at that point. You'd actually have a trend line breakout if price does start pushing up that high. You'd look at this trend line here on a weekly. Yeah, maybe you just touch that, and maybe you'll start rejecting off of that again and just keep meandering sideways. But if that is an ABCDE triangle as per Elliott wave, and it's about to break out and go to a 618 extension, this RSI trend line is likely to be broken. You may still have divergences between 94 on the RSI. You may only get up to, say, this peak, maybe 85, and that would be your triangle playing out, breaking out of the triangle and moving up to give you divergence between wave 3 and wave 5. After grabbing liquidity up there, there's all this liquidity down here that you may be testing or grabbing. So you may have very sinister price action that comes thereafter. So if you are trading this, not necessarily investment advice, but if price does make it up there, trim some off. Hope to get back in somewhere around 5 cents, something like that. And very quickly on the Bitcoin, we can see that we have got a nice weekly candle close. We have a series of higher highs and higher lows. Price, I was expecting as soon as that level was broken, we're attacking this liquidity up here. That could cascade things into a very, very large spike sometime this week. However, if you want a trade entry, I'd probably be looking at somewhere around 65.9 as a back test of that previous high. So maybe price goes up, grabs that liquidity, flushes back down to here, takes all this lower liquidity that's underneath price now for a move up. You could have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then extended fifth wave that just pumps beyond belief and takes all the liquidity from above. And we'll see how things progress. I'll try to get a more detailed video out tomorrow or in the coming days. Kind of took a lot of time looking at the weekly here and various shitcoins. So hope that was helpful. And if you have any questions, any thoughts, comments, concerns, leave them in the comments below. I guess that'll be all. Have a good night. Keep your stops tight.